This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
And welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. Today we are talking San Francisco 49ers and Saints. Sunday, noon, as every one of our games this year seems to be at noon.
Yeah.
Except for that Falcons game. That one is at 3:25.
I was going to say,
that's our primetime game for the year.
We do have a few more 3 o'clocks than usual, but
it's like three total, though.
Whatever time the kickoff is seems to be about the most exciting topic heading into this one, just because the Niners look injured. We obviously have our injuries, nothing crazy, but
I think it's the two most injured teams of the last two seasons.
It is, and so I guess Brock Purdy being out, George Kittle being out is pretty on brand for them. Now, I will say
Ayuk.
I will say I haven't heard of any defensive injuries, and last I checked, Joey Bosa and Fred Warner still play for their defense. So
Jawan Jennings is out too, right?
Oh, is he out?
I don't know.
He played a little last week, and he was on the injury report, I think, but I didn't see if he was definitely out.
Well, he's banged up,
yeah.
If nothing else.
Yeah, but, I mean, look, the bottom line is we said it last week when we were picking the Cardinals game, even though we were 6-point dogs, that we picked a win more as fans. We debated, are you predicting a win or are you picking a win? In Max and I's world, there's a slight difference when fanhood gets involved. But we said there's not many where you can actually pick a win. And seeing that their starting quarterback is out, their number one playmaker on offense, if you assume McCaffrey's not what he used to be, George Kittle, he's out. Now, McCaffrey had a impactful game last week. He had it was either like 7 or 9 receptions. He did a decent job running the ball. So McCaffrey is absolutely going to be something to be dealt with. I think if you look at the way we performed against the Cardinals running backs, he fits more the mold of Benson than he would James Conner. So we got to kind of shore up some things there. But then again,
they have a James Conner too, though. Brian Robinson.
Yeah, that's right. They got Robinson. So we got a work cut out for us in their backfield aside from Mac Jones. But how are y'all feeling about it?
You go.
All right. I agree. I think it comes down to the Christian McCaffrey, the run game. I think just assuming they'll fall off a cliff because it's Mac Jones. I'm definitely not a Mac Jones fan, but he did play fairly well in Jacksonville the last half of the year after Trevor Lawrence went out. He likes to get the ball downfield more. But, you saw player like Brian Thomas explode when he went into the when Mac took over the team from Trevor Lawrence. He started kind of slow. Some think, okay, he's a rookie, he's getting his feet, but pushing the ball down the field is what made Brian Thomas kind of blow up last year and end up being one of the top 5 receivers in the league. So I think he's the type of quarterback who's going to give your secondary a couple chances, but also you need to be aware that ball is going to be pushed downfield if he has any time at all. So what's the matchups down the field? Kittle's out. That's huge for us.
Yeah.
They still have Ricky Pearsall. I just looked up Jawan Jennings. It looks like he did not practice yesterday or today. It's a shoulder, but it doesn't – obviously we don't know if he's out yet.
Usually today's the big tell.
Right. So
it's Friday.
So he's not practicing, but you still, the biggest play guy that they have is probably Pearsall left at the receiving core. And then I would assume you're going to see McCaffrey into the pass game quite a bit with Kittle out, and probably Juszczyk if he's playing. He was banged up too, I think, but he's not on the injury report, so presumably he's playing too. So stuff out of the backfield might be wheel routes, things like that we better be shored up on, that we've seen Christian break just in regular situations, but now that he's going to have to be more involved in the pass game, be aware of that. So I think pass rush is a huge deal. If you get to Mac Jones, he's going to make mistakes. Catch him.
Yeah. If there's one thing for certain, he is a statue back there.
No
and
doubt.
I went back to, I know he had his time in Jacksonville last year, but my Mac Jones in the NFL memories immediately go back to that Patriots game where we just teed off on him.
Shutout, right?
Like
Did we shut
our
him out?
best win of the year that year, I think, and one of our only like quality or good-looking wins. But hopefully we can have more of that.
That was 23, right?
Yeah. It wasn't last year. It was the year before, I believe.
I think that was one of those when we were ready to quit DA.
Yep.
And we're like, this is the end unless, and then they shut him out. And we're like, okay, maybe we're back.
Honey Badger had a pick six.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic defensive performance and against a Mac Jones-led offense. So my hope is we can summon more of that and not whatever he did in Jacksonville last year. But, you never know.
Yeah. Last year, just for context, 65%. Almost 1,700 yards, 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
In how many games?
He played 10, but he didn't start 10.
Ooh, a 1-to-1 touchdown interception ratio?
That's him. So
I
he's going to throw
mean,
you some. You better be ready to catch him.
There was
That's what I'm
another
saying.
quarterback who we highlighted that stat for last year, and we said he had some issues.
Who was it?
I believe it was Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, well,
There we go.
So
we've had many. Jameis was pretty good at that, too.
an even
James is like a 1-to-2 ratio.
even quarterback matchup. And Rattler's is still 1-to-1 because he had 0-0 last game.
Here's a question: are you going to the game Sunday?
I'm not actually.
The little guy actually is not going, so you can probably get his tickets for
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got the Twins.
Take him. Might be the best time to take him. He's got like 4 tickets.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to him about that.
So
Yeah, because the tickets were going for higher on SeatGeek than they were for the first game. I think they're
That's a loyal fan base, though.
more
loyal.
I mean, you get them
Than
for,
Arizona. Arizona's not
You could have
traveling.
gotten one for like $32 for the Arizona game, and I think this one, the lowest one, was like 70.
Yeah. That
how
makes
much
sense.
did you get for your tickets? Didn't you? Because you sat in the suite, so you had to sell your regular tickets, right?
90, I think. What did I tell you?
Yeah.
I texted to you. I don't remember.
It was below face, right?
Yeah, below
Yeah.
face.
This is not the year to sell tickets.
No.
No,
Pretty
My
much go
tickets-
to them or give
hey,
them away.
it's a buyer's market this year.
It definitely
great
is.
for
Like,
me.
get some goodwill by giving it to some friends or colleagues.
Yeah,
or
this
even
is the year to
clients.
build up the goodwill.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. No, that's right.
But yeah, so there's a lot of unknowns in this one just because of the injuries. But then again, like you still have McCaffrey's not an unknown. I didn't really see how Robinson did, his first game with the new team.
He'll be fine.
but-
You don't even need to, because he's one of those guys. He's going to run straight ahead and he's going to get what's there.
Running back's one of those positions where you can, as long as you know where to run. Obviously, it sounds simple, but
9 for 33 in the first game.
Huh.
But Christian was 22 for 69, so they didn't run it great. But Seattle's got a decent
But
defense.
Seattle's
if
got
you
a
look
good
at
defense.
McCaffrey's receiving stats, it's pretty gnarly.
9 for 73. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see a ton of that. Oh, Juszczyk had 2 for 32 in that game, too. So you're going to see a ton of
Leading the yards per carry. I like it. He's
Well,
a fun
he
guy.
probably
I
got like one.
Juszczyk.
They forgot about him, like man coverage, and he slips out, and they forget about him, and
Yep.
there's the big play.
I tell you, man, he's a fun player. Like,
Oh, yeah,
fullback, tight
he's
end.
a throwback.
Just-
I love
He's a
him.
throwback, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
49ers always have good fullbacks, though. Tom Rathman,
Max, I don't
Will
find,
Floyd.
Will Floyd.
I don't
Floyd.
find it surprising that the teams that still employ a fullback often have some of the most popular players in the league. Not a surprise.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we don't even have a traditional fullback.
Not
on
this
the
year.
roster. I was just, I started playing Madden again since the regular season update with all the rosters and all that went
Yeah.
live, and there was no fullback for the first
Well,
time in a while.
It might be for the first time in Saints history we don't have a
It might
fullback.
be, 'cause
because
usually-
Kubiak did one, Sean Payton did one every year. He made sure, like, if we had a fullback go out, like he went.
Peyton would do two sometimes.
He made a point to go pick out the fullback in free agency. It was like one of the most not anticipated, but like predictable free agent pickups of the year. If we didn't have a fullback, Peyton's going to go out and get one.
It was always fun though. Like John Kuhn was a fun one.
Heath Evans, Carney,
Carney was awesome.
Arnie was a really good one.
Jedediah,
Oh yeah, Collins. Yeah,
He was
a good
pretty
one.
solid.
We had some fun fullbacks.
Adam Prentice.
Ricky Ortiz for a hot minute.
With Peyton?
Yeah.
Ah.
I
Why
was
didn't you get the
hoping,
jersey?
I was waiting
Oh,
for
he
him to
never-
make
he
the
never
team.
made-
They
yeah.
picked him up late in the season, and I want to say he
Damn.
was. I think he was active roster for like one game, and then he was on the practice squad. I'm like, all right, my guy, if he makes the team, number 30. Ortiz
Was Carney?
jersey. Let's
Carney
go.
had a 3-touchdown game.
Against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that-
3 or was it
2006.
4? It was 3.
That Cowboys game, that smackdown with Sean Payton was kind of like the first time we were like, oh shit, I think we might have something. I mean, not the very first time, but it was like the most dominant performance against
So there was Sunday night
a
football.
good
if I'm not
good
mistaken.
team. It was like
returning to you
Yeah.
know former place he had coached. So.
Yeah.
He did it to him
good
again.
days.
Well, no, he didn't. We did it to him again
We should,
last year.
we should look that up. Is this the first time in Saints history we have not had a active fullback on the depth chart?
It's got to be.
Has to be.
Because before Peyton got here, fullbacks were still pretty
Yeah.
commonplace around the NFL.
Yeah, who was our OC before? I mean, McCarthy wasn't the OC up until Haslett got fired, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
McCarthy
he
went to
was.
Green Bay the same year,
The same year
as
Peyton
Peyton
got hired here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So yeah, so you know McCarthy's running fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably is. What a moment. What,
Yeah.
what a time to be alive.
Does that hurt your soul that we don't have a fullback?
You goddamn right it does.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I mean, you know, I'm giving Kellen Moore his grace. I'm a fan. I want him to succeed, but just throw a fullback in there. Come on, just a little, you know, just pop him in.
Have y'all checked if the lines changed? Are we now not favored in any games after seeing how the Jets played? Did that line switch?
Haven't
Because we were
checked.
at one
Most
point
lists,
favorite.
we're not listed as the worst team anymore, although in the draft order, I think we are, but
ESPN's power rankings had us.
the power rankings had us jump
Bottom.
up a few spots.
I saw the power rankings from after the Cardinals game. We were at 32 in ESPN, 32 in NFL.
That's what I saw.
We
What'd you
moved
see?
up in a couple I saw. We were like number
Cool.
29.
Who dropped
Big
below
news. Probably Carolina.
Carolina was one of them. I know that. Carolina looks bad.
us? They do, but they got better players than us.
I don't know, man. I mean,
Do they?
our starters aren't awful. It's just the problem
Right.
is there's no
That's what we're
depth.
going. Yeah. Like,
Carolina's.
I
they got
hear you,
younger
but, like,
starters, but
Chuba's younger than Kamara, coming off a 1,000-yard season. You've got Tet, a top 10 receiver.
you would take Chuba over Kamara?
As
That's a take.
far as a team going forward, probably. Yeah,
going forward.
Oh, okay. But like this year.
This year, yeah.
probably not. But
Yeah,
you
I
can't
wouldn't.
dispute he had a better year than Kamara last year, and Kamara played great.
That's fine.
So,
but I mean, but if we're talking power rankings, we're talking this year's rankings. Who do you take?
This year only.
Right. Who
not
do you take
projecting
to
future.
affect the power ranking? If it's going to affect your power ranking and you get a choice between one of Kamara and Chuba as your running back, who are you going with?
I think it's very close.
I take Kamara.
Yeah.
Kamara's been hurt the last 3 years.
That's a don't I think the
That's
room
a
thing.
If you're taking all of it, you know, he's a grind the clock down type of running back. That'd be beneficial for us.
So
I take Kamara.
segueing back to the preview, I hope now that Kamara
Look at
absolutely
you.
goes.
Look at you staying on task.
I hope now that Kamara absolutely goes off this week.
I hope
Now
he
that-
does too.
Now that you've said
needs
that
to.
it's close between Chuba Hubbard.
Well, you
Chuba?
missed it
Chuba?
last night. We were watching the Thursday night game, and he was you know big Lattimore fan. So all the
Oh, God.
backlash online is that Lattimore's
Yeah.
cooked and all that stuff. And he's telling me, he's like, yeah, you know, he's having a really good game. He shut down Neighbors last week. Right as he said it,
Yeah, I
Last
jinxed
gives
him.
up a reception and then gets a penalty in a 30-second span.
So he didn't even fit my favorite analogy based on his game last week. You know, it wasn't like a 10% of his plays he failed. It was a solid like 50-50.
Was it?
I think he failed that paper.
I didn't see anything on that game. No, I really didn't. Everything I've read is that he's looking terrible, but then he's telling me he shut down Neighbors.
No, I looked up last game, 1 catch, 11 yards given up on 48 snaps. So, I mean, yeah, he looked bad last night, and there's no debating that. He had 2
He had
penalties.
a holding in the end zone, I think it was, or
No, it was 2.
he got called for defensive holding at some point
One was on a crossing route,
Crossing,
and then
Talking about last night or week one?
last night.
yeah, it was a crossing route, and then he held again on a play that was dead for no reason, just on a. It looked like a in-breaking.
Damn, the Saints is strong with him.
Well, I mean, the DA preaches holding, so.
True.
But so yeah, those two weren't good. But he gave up a short pass right in the beginning. Then he gave up that incredible catch where he was right. He had perfect coverage. The one on
the
Heath.
sideline one.
Yeah,
That was
I mean,
great.
that wasn't bad coverage though. That was an incredible catch.
Yeah, that was more to catch.
When they reviewed it and he got his second foot down, I was like, holy crap, that was pretty damn impressive.
Seeing it live, I'm like, that's not a catch. You know?
Yeah, it didn't look like a catch.
But
and
then you see it.
He
Wow.
got it. And then he gave up a catch right when I text Max that too. So, I mean, he definitely gave up 50-plus yards on those 3.
Bottom line, it was the right move to trade Lattimore. I wish we would have traded him a season sooner because I think the price would have been a little bit higher than what we got.
I mean, we're gonna have 2 guys. I mean, they gave Devin Neal. He was one of the picks in the trade, and then Sanker. So you're gonna get
And also,
a safety-
Riley.
and Riley. So you're gonna need a safety starting. You're probably gonna need a running back that's get some carries, and then Quincy Riley might get on the field, but he's gonna be on special teams. So
I feel like
You know.
Riley's going to be. Well, I think Sanko's got a real chance.
I think it all hinges on Sanker probably. Neal's probably going to be a role player forever.
Yeah.
Which
Riley, I think, gets some snaps though at some point this year.
But Sanker also got the job via injury, so let's not say he took a starting job or anything yet. We hope he does right
Blackman's
now.
a solid player. I know you don't like him, but Blackman's been.
I don't dislike
yeah,
him. I just don't think he's. I think the
he's
talk
not a
of him
top
being
guy,
a
but
difference
he's a good
maker
player.
is a little too much. He's a guy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anyone's calling him a true difference maker. You know,
I think he's more than Jag status.
I think we needed
he's absolutely
something.
more than Jag status.
Yeah.
I think we needed something to get excited about, so we're reaching for our, new
Going back to
safety.
Madden, he had an 80 rating in Madden. That's about right because he's right around the 80 range, somewhere
they're-
between a C and a C plus and a B minus.
I'll give you that. He's a C plus.
He's a C
I'll
plus,
give you
that's
that.
fine.
I'll give you that.
Hey man, look at the rest of the fire. I know you're going to buy it at some point. When you get it, you fire up the roster. You're going to see a lot of D's on there, like 71, 72,
There should be.
70. No, I know, but to see an 80 is like seeing water in the desert, man. Come on.
True.
But anyway, we're off topic. So
Yeah, I tried to get y'all back, but y'all went straight
No.
away.
I apologize.
It was like a game.
Job today.
It was like a game of Pong. It was like, all right, I got him back. Boop. Right.
What was the other than the Panthers? Just real quick, who else was below us? I'm just curious how much.
I
we
didn't see
impressed
the. I didn't
I
see the
don't
rankings.
remember. It's got to be us, the Jets, the Panthers.
Jets played well.
Did someone drop the
Oh,
Dolphins?
that's
Dolphins,
fair.
that's
Okay,
it.
that's fair.
Dolphins, that's
That,
it.
that one might be fair.
Because they had a horrible game.
They're imploding.
They're terrible.
yeah.
That dude's getting fired soon. I'm trying to
should.
find a line somewhere to where I can bet on him being the
I want to
first
go back
pick.
and listen to that podcast where y'all tell me that was the new NFL, Mike McDaniel. We need to go re-listen to that one from 2 years ago.
keyword-
No,
Where I
no,
got
he was
jumped.
talking motion and
I
being
know.
creative
Yeah.
and all that. So.
You watching what McDaniel's doing? Okay, are we still watching?
Well, at that time, I mean,
It is what
But-
it is.
Give the NFL a minute to adapt before we change the world.
yeah.
The
Anyway.
NFL's good. They're good. All right, go ahead, Corey.
Well, let's talk offense. We've gotten off track enough. So, offense, you want to get it started? You see anything you want to talk about on offense today? Do you expect a good game out of Rattler? Do you see Kamara running the ball? What do
I'm
you see?
curious to see what they do with
Is
Fuller.
today Rattler gets 2 touchdowns?
No,
Okay.
no.
You don't like? I saw that it's plus 220. I think.
If it wasn't, with their defensive front, I'd say sure. But I can't think of the names of their DBs at the top of my head. Like, no, I forget who they have, but their defense is solid. This isn't the game for him to have 2.
I don't think we know how good Seattle is yet, but they pretty much just shut Seattle down across the board.
Yeah, and
Seattle's
so
got some horses.
and we know Gino likes to. Well, it's not Gino over there anymore. It's
Darnold.
Darnold, but even Darnold, they like to air it out.
Yep.
But I don't think this should not be the game to have a bunch of points scored. But then again, you never know.
Well, hold on. Before you go any further, so I'm looking at it. So Rattler has yet to throw multiple touchdowns in a game. So he has 4 touchdown passes in his career right now through 7 games.
I don't think it's going to be the one. I wish it was, and if it is, it's either like
That one's tempting, dude. I might.
quick to the flat. I mean, you look at the Washington game where Moro caught that the game tying touchdown. It was a quick, 1 yard kind of rub route, but
I think the only way he's throwing 2 touchdowns is if it's garbage time. So I think that's a
or I was
bad
going to say
scenario
garbage
for
time's
us.
the other
Yeah.
possibility.
Shout out to Garbage Time last night.
Yeah.
Daniels, thank you.
Max and I are matched up in fantasy this week, and I was looking pretty good with Jaden Daniels having all of 5 points into the fourth quarter.
Ugh.
Then garbage time set in.
It was great.
God damn it. Anyway,
Well, so let's think about it. So Fuaga's hobbled. So the right side
that's
of the
kind
line,
of one of the biggest things I'm looking at is what they do with Fuaga, because there were a couple plays last week where he whiffed or was just out of position, and so it makes you wonder, was it the injury?
Well, it seems like it's an injury that's been lingering since training
Right.
camp, and it says it's something that's going to have to be managed the whole
So-
season, which you hate to hear.
and if we're gonna have
in week 1. Yeah, that's
week
not a
one.
great
and
thing.
Like if you could sit him out for 2 or 3 weeks and just
and we said it last week, like a lot of our success on offense, the things we're trying to do on offense hinge on the running game, and so
everything does.
Like the strength of your offensive line is huge, and so if you have one weak link in there at this point, that's going to be tough, especially at right tackle. So I'm looking at that as I want to see what we do there, and but I mean, Olave, look, I think he had a good game. I do want to see more passes to Alvin. I mean, there were several.
I'll bet you do.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying we can't even we'll get into it later, but you can't even bet on his reception total this week. But but it's not just because of that. But there were several times where if he would have hit Alvin, he had a lot of daylight in front of him, and so I want to see is just utilize, like, get the ball to your best offensive playmaker in space, and see what he can do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be shocked if Juwan Johnson's there's a safety valve a bunch of times this week. But then again, I haven't watched our defense enough to know if Fred Warner's usually manned up on the tight end. But if he is, then that's not great for Juwan. But at the end of the day, I just want to see I want to see more balance from the offense. I don't want to see us throwing the ball 46 times.
Yeah, that can't happen.
That's probably my biggest request.
That's what I was getting at. I don't think you want Rattler slinging it around with their defensive front against our banged-up offensive line. I don't think that's a great strategy, and that's what we did last week. Not nearly as good of a defensive front for Arizona as for the 49ers. We know when he's pressured, it's not great for us. Usually he takes the sacks. To his credit, he's not been a huge turnover guy so far. He's managed to keep that out of his game, but he does take a lot of sacks generally. So I don't want to see that game plan. I want us to stick with the run regardless. Yeah, presumably, they will not be scoring a ton of points on us. We wouldn't think. We think our defense should probably hold up against what they're rolling out on offense, especially if we can stop the run. Let's keep the game in play as long as we can. And then, if we end up having to throw the ball more later in the game, fine. But I think we have to focus on that running back and try to keep that defense on the field as long as we can.
Yep.
And, again, I think that's going to be kind of my thoughts most of the year. But I think especially this time when you're going against an offense that should be depleted pretty bad. Yeah, is make that defense sit out there for a really long time, get some 3-and-outs, maybe get a couple turnovers against their offense, and you have a chance. I mean, we have a chance this game. This is this is why I said it was so hard to only win 2 games in the NFL, because you catch games like this where we all marked this as an L 2 weeks ago, right, and now we're like, okay, it's a 3-point line, and we have a chance to win this game.
Yep. Yeah, I think, you both hit the nail on the head. We have to be able to run the ball this game. We can't get away from the run in the second half. We got to stick with it the whole way. If Rattler has 40 passes again, we're losing the game. Simple as that.
I have to go back and look up, see if the Eagles played the Niners last year, see how Kellen handled it, because I think they got the same defensive coordinator and all that stuff. Because
it's also the way he would handle it with the Eagles is different than how he
that's
can handle
true.
it with us, but weapons all
I guess
over the place.
I'm thinking about taking advantage of when they show pressure. I just want to see us play smart, see Rattler play sound, because if they're showing pressure and you call out that's when you pop one to Alvin, stuff like that.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the picks. You want to start us off? Well, actually, you start us off this time since Corey went first last time.
Yeah.
So, offensive MVP, who you got? You going chalk again?
Yeah, I am, because I hope he is, because I think we have a chance to win if we make him the offensive MVP. I think if Alvin's the game plan and he has normal Alvin success, that we have a chance.
Yeah.
I felt that way last week, and I think getting away from it was a big mistake. I think we made it easier on him. Now, we did sustain some really long drives last week, too, with the short pass game, but I just think it's different when you're just running downhill at him. So, for me, it's Alvin again. I think this needs to be one of the 20-touch Alvin games, because I think you're going to need volume to get yards. I don't think it's going to be a 5.5 yard a carry game. I think this is one of those 3.7 type per carry. Keep giving him the ball, stay disciplined. So I'm gonna say he gets 17 carries this game or more, and probably somewhere around 70 yards, 65, 70 yards. And then I'm hoping we design, like Corey said, I hope we just force those passing plays to him, where it's actually plays called to Alvin for screens, to him getting out on those option routes that we all loved watching with Breeze, where Alvin got to make the decision, and as soon as he did, he's so smart. He always made the right call, and he's open.
So good at those.
We need touchdowns.
At one. So I'm just hoping they get him more involved in the offense, and then I would love to see Kendre get 10+ carries too behind it. So I think that's the path to victory, and he's got to be the guy if we're going to do it.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go. To me, it's the running game, but I guess if I have to narrow it down, I'm going to go with AK as well. Until proven otherwise, AK is going to be my pick for offensive MVP every week, just because he's the most consistent, best player on the offense at the skill spots that we have right now. I agree with everything he said about the touches. I think he needs to get at least 20 touches, somewhere between 20 and 25 would be ideal. To your point, I think that average per carry is probably going to be a little lower than we would like, but that's fine if they're giving him the consistent carries. And to me, Kendra, I hate to repeat everything he just said, but Kendra has to be involved. Last week, I think we all agreed that if Kendra would have gotten the touches, he was on his way to being MVP last week. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns. I'm going out on the limb here. I feel like if we have a chance to win this game, it has to be through the running game. There's no scenario where we win if Rattler throws 40 passes again. It's just not going to happen.
Just don't see it.
I don't trust our receivers enough from a consistency standpoint. It just feels like, you saw Olave go in and out of the game last week. Shaheed, it just feels like Kamara's the one consistent piece. I can see Juwan having another big game. It seems like they're going to feature him at the tight end position. And, he had a good game last week until the end, and he would have had a really good game if he pulls in that catch.
That would have been solid.
But, I was tempted to go Juwan here as much as I hate him. But I started thinking about it, and it has to flow through the running game because that's going to keep the defense off the field. That'll keep them fresh. It has to be the running game. I'm going AK 2 touchdowns.
Yep. I hate to do it.
No, you don't.
But last week I went with Kendra. I don't like the because I went with Kendra because I saw him with some ability to kind of just pop a bunch of 4-yard carries and be a difference maker, maybe get a touchdown. I don't like the matchup for that purpose as much this week. I agree that we have to. So I'm going AK. I agree with you all that we do have to run the ball, but I think he ends up being the MVP because of the alternative safety valve or catch him off guard type plays. I think he's gonna. I don't know that we're gonna run the same option route. I haven't really seen that in Kellen's offense yet. I hope it's there just because AK is good at it. But he's gonna get a decent amount of rushing yards. But I think he's gonna make some hay with some screen passes or passes out in the flat. And I think Rattler will actually
he finally gets it and throws it to him.
I think he actually will have an eye for him this week. Doing it and saying that is different ball game. But yeah, I think it's there. Take advantage of their aggressiveness up front and get the ball to Alvin in space. And I think that's why he's going to be the MVP. So I think it's going to be more. Alvin's going to have over
80 touchdowns.
He's going to have. I'm going to 1 touchdown game, but give me.
You're going more emphasis on the passing.
Yeah, give me 100 yards total, and more of those are going to come from receiving. I don't know what the totals are going to be.
Okay. Nick, defense, what you got?
I kind of got into it in the beginning. I think since it's Mac Jones, there's going to be some 50-50 balls thrown for sure. So we have to catch them. That comes from 2 spots. It's us being able to match up with Christian out of the backfield, and it comes from the secondary where this is probably the worst outside skill players we'll face all year as far as a starting group, just because of the injuries. Generally a strength of the 49ers, right? I mean, they traded Debo because they had Ayuk, Jennings, and Pearsall, right? You had 3 young guys coming up that are all great. You traded a guy who 2 years ago was first-team All-Pro. So they went from loaded to a pretty bad group overall. So Kool-Aid versus Pearsall is a big thing. It's got to be better than it was last week against Marvin Harrison. Pearsall's, in my opinion, not the player Marvin Harrison is. Doesn't have the skill set Harrison is.
I don't think it's close.
Right. Different player completely, obviously, but just doesn't have the things that I think probably cause Kool-Aid more problems.
Yep.
So I think it's a big game on him, but the other component is how well we rush the passer. So I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna go with Granderson, and Granderson getting a sack, having 6 tackles, playing exactly like he did last week, because I think it's going to be extremely important to pressure Mac in order to get those 50-50 balls thrown. And if we just get one or two of those, the game changes. If we're conservative and we play run game and short pass game like we did last week, play a similar style, hold on to the ball, no turnovers, and you get 2 turnovers, that drastically increases your chance of winning the game. So I'm gonna switch it up and go with Granderson as the MVP because I think Chase we still don't know, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's trending to be out.
Out again. Okay.
So we'll know more after today's practice.
Okay. So without knowing that, I'm gonna go with him. Cam also had a great game. Brzee also had a great game last week. So I think our only chance is if we're able to get something through that offensive line. That is, we'll see about Trent Williams too. There's a chance he doesn't play. So might create opportunity for our defensive line. So I think that's the first part of the equation to get those turnovers out of Mac Jones is them getting some sort of pressure. So I'm gonna put it on Granderson.
Okay. I agree with everything you just said, except I'm going to change the player up. I'm going with Cam Jordan as defensive MVP. Feels like a 1.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, call it 3 pressures.
Okay.
Granderson and Cam played very well last week, as we discussed on the review pod. Warner played well. DeMario played well. Brzee played well. So it was all encouraging signs out of last week. And to your point, if we're going to do anything, we need to get pressure on Mac Jones. He's a statue back there. So
yep.
I loved seeing Cam and Grando so far out wide. It's like the screen. It's like Underhill said, like the screen almost had to pan back.
Clearly helping them.
Yeah, clearly helping them. I think they both are going to have a good game again. They have to, and it's all about getting pressure on the statue. So I'm going with Cam, defensive MVP.
All right. This is fun. I'm going to DeMario.
Oh,
there we go.
Taking our guy.
Yeah, you took my guy. I mean, I think that
we all went chalk on offense, and everyone's different on defense. I like it.
Yeah, I think DeMario is going to be extremely motivated by 2 things. His counterpart on the Niners defense, Fred Warner, always gets more love than DeMario. DeMario is going to want to be the best middle linebacker, inside linebacker on the field on Sunday. Okay. I think it's going to motivate him a lot. I think he's also motivated when the competition steps up, and there's no greater competition for a back out the backfield. If he's full status, then CMC. And so DeMario's going to be motivated to, be on him. And also, too, when they call runs to Robinson, DeMario's going to – I think he did a great job. Something about Staley's defense, I think, kind of like what we said in the preview before the game last week, having that nose tackle – with Brzee and Shepard, or just 2 traditional defensive tackles outside of a nose tackle, really helps the linebackers out a lot. And I think you saw that from DeMario last week with James Conner. And I think he just builds on what he did last week. And just the nature of the 49ers offense, they weren't, a lot of West Coast type shit. And he's going to have to be all over the field. And I think he will be. They'll probably even send him on a blitz or 2.
So give me some stats. Key stats. We don't need the whole box filled out.
DeMario's going to have a sack.
Okay.
And he's going to end up with about, I think he's racks up a shitload of tackles. Probably
9 last week.
He might crack double digits this week. So
Going
double-digit tackles and a sack. Yeah.
Okay.
Did anyone see the final snap counts for last game for the defense?
I did not.
No.
I wanted to bring one thing up that I noticed, which not that it doesn't make sense, but on multiple explosive plays, Alante wasn't in there because we were in our base 3-4, right?
Yeah.
So
we're also working him back, though.
I know, but I was just that's why I was curious.
Something to keep an eye about,
right?
Yeah.
But I was also curious how many snaps was it? What I know they're working him back, but I feel like he should be on the field a lot this game, blitzing, because we might need to generate that pressure a different way than just the defensive line. I think it's imperative in this game. It would be interesting to me to see who we would pull off the field in a traditional 3-4, and do we take Sanker out?
They usually take out
put him in, and go single high.
Well, I think what I've seen them do is that they either take out Godshaw or they take out one of the edges.
Okay.
That's usually because they'll want to keep DeMario and Warner in there.
Right, for sure. They're going to stay.
If it's a nickel look, they'll keep the 2 linebackers in. And they'll take out either the nose tackle.
But I'm saying when we're in like
Nose tackle probably comes out.
Yeah.
They do this less, but then the Cardinals love running multiple tight ends, right? I think they led the league in how many formations they roll multiple tight ends and 3 tight ends. But when they go into that, and that could be a thing because they're down so many receivers, but they're also down a tight end. So I don't know what they're going to do. But getting him off the field, if I'm Shanahan, is a win. So why wouldn't I run more use check, more tight end formations to try and keep him off the field?
It's a Kubiak came from that system, so we saw this offense all year last year, mostly. So, yeah, you can expect. I think you're going to see multiple times. Like Juszczyk's going to line up at tight end several times this game.
Yep.
You're going to have a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of multiple tight end looks. So yeah, they're going to try to keep us in base as much as they can. Absolutely.
Correct. And I think Alante is clearly one of our best 11 on defense. So for me, find a way to keep him out there.
Staley was with this team too. So
true.
And he had to coach against this exact offense.
That's a good point. I didn't even
all
think about
year
that.
last year. So if anybody knows his team.
That's a real good point.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to watch that because I think he needs to be on the field more.
I really think the reason he wasn't last week is more just
injury.
ramping him up.
Could be.
Conditioning wise. But no, that's a great point, honestly. He needs to be on the field more. And then to your point, Staley should have the inside track on what's going on with the Niners. So prediction time, who you got?
Oh, I've gone back and forth on it.
Oh, I thought he was going to say 49ers. Yeah.
Breaking news.
Go ahead and mark this one down. What are we at the
Damn.
What's the clock say?
Oh, yeah.
We might need to
36.
Yeah, clip this one out.
No, I wish I worry that we can score a lot. Like like against that defense. Like
you worry that
we can't score a lot.
Can't, I thought you said you worried we can. Okay.
So
I was confused.
Like I brought up multiple times, his average as a starter is the Saints score about 11 what did I tell you? 13 points a game.
Yeah.
I think this is a good defense. We don't know yet. So can we win with 17 points? I think maybe.
And he's 0-7 and he has 4 total passing touchdowns in those 7 losses.
Right. Now, can we take the
question is, can we score 17 points?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because I still think you need 17 points to win, even if our defense plays great. I still think you need at least 17. Yeah. And against this defense, I find that might be hard. So I'm going to say it's a super close game this time. I think it probably comes down to the wire. I'm going to stick with the Niners, though.
There we go. That's the Nick I know.
Yeah. And I'm going to say...
I was going there for a second.
I don't think this is going to be a great game to watch.
Yeah.
You don't think Mac Jones versus Spencer Rattlers?
No. I mean, even if they both play their greatest games, it might not be a fun.
No, yeah.
I'm going to say I think Rattler has a bad turnover that is the difference in a tight game. Because he hasn't done that yet that I can remember, where a turnover...
Yeah, he really hasn't.
I think it's going to be a fourth quarter, So let's go 18-14.
18-14. Wow.
Is that a scoregami?
6 field goals.
There was one on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't believe that was scoregami.
6 field goals. So pick up the 49ers kicker is where he's going.
I'll be honest with you. I am not confident on this one.
They got a new kicker, by the way. They cut Moody.
I know. I saw that.
So this is not preseason groupie. So if we kick 6 field goals, I mean, what? We've attempted 9?
No. He's saying the Niners.
Niners kicking.
Oh, that's right. You got Niners doing.
I think our defense is going to play really great, is what I'm saying. I think this is an absolute coin flip. Okay. I really do.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going Saints. I think this is the last great chance we have to win a game until probably November or whenever we play the Jets. So I'm going to go Saints 17-14. It feels like we're going to stick with the run game the entire game this time, and then Kamara, Kendre are going to combine. They're going to have a real good game rushing the ball. I think we even see Neal get a few carries. For us to win, I feel like Rattler needs to stay somewhere between 100 and 200 yards passing. So I'm going to go Saints 17-14. I feel like I'm flipping it. You said Rattler has a big turnover towards the end. I'm going to go ahead and say Mac Jones has the turnover.
Very possible.
And it's in their own territory. I think it's going to be a real close game all the way through. Cam gets a forced fumble on Mac Jones, and we kick a game-winning field goal.
That'd be awesome.
All right. I can see it. All right. For mine, I'm going to do my pick a little bit differently. Woo! Because this week we're going with Corey's Locks for the prediction.
Is it Corey's locks or Dan Quinn's locks?
That's disrespectful to the
I mean,
locks.
the back of that old white guy? I don't know, man. Dan Quinn.
Disrespectful to the locks. Because gotta get my chain. Up. You know what that is. Hold on, I gotta take this. Yep. Hello? You know who this is, guys?
Who's that?
It's the money line calling. This week's locks is Saints on the money line, beating the Niners. You got plus odds on the money line, plus 134 right now, so lock it in because last night it was plus 136. But if there's any week, this might be the only week where I can actually lock this in. And this might not even be the most lockable lock, but we're feeling it for all the reasons. So my prediction this week is Saints win 16-13. I'm not telling you to lock in the score, but if you do, there's some fun correct score right now on FanDuel. We're not recommending the bet. We're not going to be betting it, but it's a lottery ticket special. Some of these odds are like 20,000 plus. But this week's lock, Saints money line, lock it in, plus 134 odds.
And it's going to have to be through DraftKings because for some reason. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're good. That's right. We were going to do
FanDuel didn't have any player props, but it's just a sign. It's yet another sign that we should lock in the Saints at the money line, 134. That's all. Thanks, money line. So, this week's lock.
So is this the last week that this guy is rolling solo?
It better be.
He's looking lonely.
It better be. It's such is the nature of a lock. So,
Let's
it,
see.
boys.
All right, 16-13. So we all expect pretty low scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and log into FanDuel and put money on that 16-13 final score.
Yeah. Lock it in the second you hear this because who knows what can happen with that line. 49ers keep dropping like flies.
This is true. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nope.
That's it for me.
Let's get a
And
win.
that's it for this episode. We will be back next week to recap this game. But until then, who dat?
Who dat?